Hey, Solid Rock Church, Pastor Nathan here. You know, it's the Christmas season and we're coming up on Christmas Eve. And I just wanted to leave a quick message with you. I know it's been a different type of last couple of years with COVID and everything. And this is a little article that Brother Scott Graham had written. And I just want to read it to you and leave it with you for this Christmas season. It's simply entitled, Let the Manger Speak. It's the most wonderful time of the year, or as the song might let us know, Christmas time is filled with iconic images and lasting symbols of the season, both sacred and secular. They fill store windows and they fill households from near and afar. They have a star, you have snowflakes, maybe a jolly old Saint Nick and an elf, shepherds or a candy cane, or perhaps wise men. But in thinking about this season and what it means to be a child of God, and considering what that looks like, we've come to consider a different, shall we say, a different way of looking at it, or a different symbol to be the most significant. Out of all these symbols that can make Christmas be what Christmas is, I want you to think of this symbol, the manger. I'm not talking about the manger that is overshadowed by its messianic inhabitant. I am considering the manger itself. And in doing so, we realize that it doesn't have the glamour of some of the other type of icons of this season. It doesn't have the big pizzazz or the sharp looks of all the different things. It's just a simple, nondescript manger. But in its simple way, its nondescript manner, it speaks to us in some profound ways. And here are just a couple. Number one, the manger says that Christmas is for everyone. We don't know everything that went on that prophetically significant night, but I'm sure some of our preconceived ideas about it are flawed. We know certainly that our nativity scenes that we see on the lawns and we see at the shelves, that it probably wasn't what it looked like. We know that the wise men and shepherds gathered there together are inaccurate. The wise men didn't come until much later. We know that there was probably a high unlikelihood that there were camels or donkeys. That's what we see in our minds when we look at the manger scene, but that's probably not what it was like. But at the same token, I'm sure that there were people there that were not described, people who were not present. Because we do know this, we do know that the shepherds, that they went and they told people about it. And just like every new birth or newborn baby that comes in, people who I'm sure were excited to come see. And so I'm sure a baby just naturally draws a crowd. So there were probably people there that weren't exactly on our typical manger scene. I'm sure that some were righteous and some were probably wicked. I'm sure that they welcomed the wealthy and the poor alike. We got different things that you got to understand and consider. Some were educated, some were not. Some were curious and convinced, some were skeptical, I'm sure. But the reality was that everyone could come. The echoes of the scripture says this, and the Spirit and the bride say, come. And let him that heareth say, come. Let him that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take of the water of life freely. What a blessing every one of us have found. We found ourselves somewhere in this whosoever. Look around the church and you'll see testimonies of people and where they've come from and who they have been and who they are now. And everybody can come. Rich, the poor, every color, every creed, every nation, every tongue. Come everybody. That's what the manger speaks to us. The manger also says this, that he understands us. Have you ever heard of a politician talking about how the crunch of the middle class or the plight of the poor, and then you look at them and you realize that they are worth $500,000 to $1 million a year type of situation? You realize that they're really not in that much of in touch with reality or where we are. It'd been one thing had God come in riches and in robes of glory and as a king per se on the earth rather than a heavenly king. But instead, he chose to come in a manger, a simple manger. He decided to go ahead and become like us. Somebody might come up and say that I feel your pain, but that's hard to except from somebody who's never really been in pain. But we do know that God came and he was acquainted with the hardships of the human existence. And that night was merely just a harbinger of things to come. He lived a blue-collar life. He suffered sickness. He was betrayed by a friend. His motives were questioned. While I'm not glad that he had to go through such things, I'm glad to know that he can relate to you and to I. For we have not a high priest, which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like we were, yet without sin. Let us come therefore boldly before the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. If this holiday season, if it finds you in a time of pain, the manger offers this reminder that he knew pain. When we are scared, the manger speaks that he too was scared. When the manger tells us that he too was alone. Whenever he cries, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? We understand that that manger relates to me. It allows me to understand that he understands. No, an unoccupied manger probably will never capture the same place of prominence in this holiday decor as does the star on a tree or the lights outside. But its message resonates in all of our lives. We come to him with a host of others, and we arrive all on equal footing, and we understand that once we have known him, we rest in the comfort that he understands our dilemma. And in a profound sense, we all rest in the manger. We all put our confidence and our hope in what was in that manger, and that is in Jesus Christ. Remember to keep the main thing this next couple days. And God bless and have a wonderful Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.